streaming at 5, but if you want to take a 5-second pause, start in your head at 0. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
All right, welcome everyone to the last Pomelo pitch session for season 4. Thank you for joining us. We're gonna be going open mic style today. Anyone who comes on want to talk Pomelo, ask questions, share feedback, pitch your grant. We want to hear it all. Uh, I'm I'm hearing some double audio on my side. Hopefully, no one else hears that double audio. It's a bit confusing for me, but I'll do my best to ignore it. And so let's get right into it. Uh, at this point, I'd like to invite Dan Singjoy join me on the stage here and talk about his grant.
Yes, sounds great. Thank you, Stephane, for hosting this once again, and I'm happy to discuss my grant. I'm really thankful for you for giving me the opportunity to host this. Sorry if I'm a little bit disorganized. I thought you were going to do a big, quicker intro, and I was just putting out a tweet to help promote the event. But yeah, basically, I promoted the Eden Creators event or the Eden Creators grant on the last week's pitch session, and this week I'm promoting the Creator Talk Pomelo grant. So Creator Talk is a new show that I just launched and I'm really excited about. People can learn about it at creatortalk.show is the website when we just released our first episode over the weekend. Basically, Creator Talk is a show where creators talk about creativity and collaboration and much more. There's a description at pomelo.io/grants/Creator Talk. And yeah, so the first episode I did with Tadas Vidikunas, who is an awesome developer and thinker and consensus builder in the EOS community, who thinks a lot about fractal governance and fractal cooperation. He participates in the Eden Fractal events every week. And about 2 months ago, he created an awesome new way for people to cooperate, for communities to cooperate, called Eden Plus Fractal, which basically combines the benefits of Fractally and Eden elections into one really cool and elegant system that's really helpful for communities. So basically, with that process that he created, we both elect delegates who form a council to help make community decisions, and then we also allocate respect and give each other respect during meetings, and we meet every week during the Eden Fractal meetings and make videos together. And I think that all communities can use this process. It is a super helpful and fun and enjoyable process. So I did an interview with the DOS about this a couple months ago when it first released, and I felt like it was a really helpful opportunity to both promote this new concept and this new idea that the DOS created, and also launch a podcast that I've wanted to launch for a long time. I've been planning it for several years. So it's called Creator Talk, and I'm planning to discuss cool collaborations and cool creations with all kinds of creators, like developers like Das, and also musicians, entrepreneurs, and artists, and builders, and inventors. And I'll focus quite a lot on EOS and how Web3 tools can empower communities and inspire collaboration and help everyone create the best experience possible. I put a lot of work into making the website really nice and cool looking, as well as the video. So in addition to an interview, I also did a presentation that put a lot of work in with the cosmic kind of surfer dude surfing around the stars and surfing on the waves. So I'm trying to combine it with some beauty and also make it very accessible for a mainstream audience who doesn't necessarily know that much about EOS. Both provide great experience for the current EOS community and also for people who don't know much about EOS. So I don't know my timer on, so I'm not sure if I'm near 5 minutes, but I'll try to wrap it up briefly. But yeah, you can learn a bit more about the show, or a lot more about the show, and there's a full experience with show notes and timestamps and related media. I also did several videos about this that you can see on creatortalk.show, and you can learn much more. And I'm planning on doing lots more interviews with great creators in the EOS community. So everybody can feel free to reach out if you'd like to do an interview, and I can help make like really cool content to help promote everybody's work. And then also too, something that I'm very excited to announce, that I announced a bit on the last episode of the Pomelo Pitch session, is the Fractal Apple. So I did a Fractal Apple. The first episode is a live show that I did on Sunday at 15:30 UTC, and the first episode was lots of fun and very interesting. You can see it now on the Eden Creators YouTube channel. I introduced the Creator Talk show there, and I also promoted Pomelo quite a lot and many public goods creators on Pomelo. I'm going to be giving out 500 EOS to Pomelo, to public goods creators on Pomelo later today, I think, or possibly tomorrow, but just as soon as possible. I didn't get the chance to actually give it out during the last one, but I'm doing the second episode later today. And also, I was very inspired. I'm very inspired by the holiday spirit, so I figure I'll combine it with maybe some Christmas music and some holiday cheer and so forth to go along with the giving spirit of Pomelo and make it a fun show. So I'm very excited about that show, and I'll announce the time of it. And I suppose that's it. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any other questions or go into more detail about it. And yeah, once again, thank you and hope you enjoy. And also, I'm not hearing Stephane respond right now. I know that Stephane was having some audio issues before, so I suppose maybe Stephane got kicked out of the show or something like that. So I guess I'll give a moment. I don't know if Dave is there or Jesse or Tetrad can hear me.
Yes, Dan, I can hear you. Is it okay for me to start and share with what my project is?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. If anybody wants to go next,
All right.
if anybody needs to request, I'm pretty sure I accept everybody. Go for it.
All
Yeah,
right. Thank you,
just go.
guys. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My
Go
name
for
is
it.
Alex. Yeah. My name is Alex Thomas. I'm the co-founder of the Tetrad protocol alongside my business partner, Alex Pearson. I want to start by thanking Pomelo, Helios, and the EOS community. We have received tremendous support from this community, and it is far different from the other communities that we have reached out to. Right now, we are all uniquely positioned to capitalize on a monumental shift in DeFi to bring safety and simplicity to the user. In order to give back to the EOS ecosystem, we're developing Tetrad as open source code. We'll also include an open developer code repository for new proposals, inspiring developers to participate in EOS. Our specialty as a company is trading algorithms. So we'll accept algo proposals that we will test, create data for, and vet on behalf of the community. Should these blockchain or algorithmic proposals meet community standards and pass an audit, we'll create a partnership with the creator and implement them into the ecosystem. We're honored to be able to use our developers and our PhD in quantitative finance to contribute the work back into EOS. What is our company purpose? Our team built a de-risked, hands-free crypto investment software to simplify the process. Our platform removes counterparty risk and is created to operate at scale within a future regulated world. The problem is that crypto and DeFi will never become a trusted asset class as long as it is perceived to be scam city. Illegitimate companies, faceless bad actors, and gender malfeasance are everywhere. However, DeFi can provide great uncorrelated returns to the regular investor. There needs to be guardrails in place for peace of mind. The risks have to be managed. So, what is the solution to this dilemma? It is called DeFi as a service, having a competent team with a tech product that eliminates the complexity, barrier to entry, and all that is associated with the Wild West. Before we discuss our product, please understand that risk management is our top priority over achieving yield. That's why we have a quant on the team, and we paired his expertise with EOS's Recover Plus. You can take a look at our product right now by going to tetrad.finance. Let's focus on our MVP for a bit, Bottom Feeder. It was created in 2019 and has been live and profitable for 3 years with the historical data to prove it. Bottom Feeder has produced a 25% compounding annual growth rate in that time and remained profitable during the market crash of Luna and FTX. These returns have zero correlation to the cryptocurrency markets. But for the skeptic out there, what is the worst day for Bottom Feeder in 3 years? A 4% loss. Safer than Bitcoin on its worst day at 16% and ETH at a 26% drawdown. What is the maximum drawdown for Bottom Feeder in 3 years? 12%, while Bitcoin dropped 80% and ETH 86% in that same period. With a 71% win rate, but more importantly, the ability to preserve capital under extreme conditions, this is why it is our flagship product for Tetrad. Users deposit into the Algo Vault, and after the trade is closed, we return 80% paid as real yield USDT to the user. Our strategy is to generate revenue from the protocol without an inflationary reward token or Ponzi-nomics, proving our independently healthy business model to the community. We are building for the long term and here to stay. Our roadmap summary is a non-tokenized real yield treasury, perpetual swap, DeFi lending, delta neutral strategies, and our final form will be a vetted and audited algorithmic marketplace. Our trading team consists of Alexander Pearson with 5 years as a cryptocurrency trader and 2 years in DeFi, and also the creator of our algorithmic strategy, and Ron Piccinini, PhD in quantitative finance, 20 years in traditional finance, and currently the risk manager for a $600 million fund. Our blockchain developer is Oxweedy. She has dApps on Phantom, Avalanche, and Polygon. And our operations team is Maria Verlone. She currently works with the Bitcoin Foundation chairman and has been traveling the last year promoting cryptocurrency adoption globally. Myself, I've been working in venture capital for 5 years and 20 years as a serial entrepreneur. We recently secured a community manager as of yesterday to be able to work with our community. So we're asking you to be a Pomelo contributor today. We are looking for many $1 EOS donations to spark quadratic funding. 70% of that money will go to future development of the protocol, 20% for operational costs, and 10% for an initial marketing campaign. We are currently live on the blockchain now. By building an honest platform and eliminating counterparty risk for the users, we're solving the biggest problem in DeFi. We ask you to join us as a Pomelo contributor today to build a safe, sustainable, and trusted platform to make crypto investment profitable for the user. Thank you.
All right, very good. Anybody want to go next? I was sharing the website.
I can go next. Hey everyone, this is Jesse with the Bees. You likely already know about the Bees. We do something called Swarms, which is an incentivized mechanism for real humans to engage on tweets. And the onboarding process is they get an EOS account, we civil check them, although it's less sophisticated than what we're working on in Eden. And they get EOS rewards. So we have like retweet rewards and we have comment rewards. And what we'd like to do, so our Pomelo grant is about swarms. The funding that we get from that grant will go directly towards swarming the strongest content in EOS. And what's great is that we have data to see the influence of our swarms. So there's sentiment analysis tools correlation, which we show in our Pomelo grant, that more swarms equals more social media engagement statistics. And so it just proves that the swarms are really making an impact. And we're very excited to continue doing that and amplifying all of the great stuff that's coming out of EOS. But there's a couple things that's on the horizon here that I'd like to share today. We had a tweet thread come out today, and it's about leveraging the swarms to do other things in the learn to earn category. And so in our cover image, we have swarms plus comments. This is the start of learn to earn, where the bee can submit their comment for extra rewards. There's a feedback mechanism. Every swarm we do, they learn, they get notes on what the bee team thinks about their comment. And if we do not approve a comment, we always say why. And in that way, they're learning about the EOS community. But and it's great, and we're doing it. but there are certainly some scaling challenges there, and it's subjective, right? So it's subjective based on the person who's grading that comment. What we announced today is, so it's just we haven't started building this, but we think this is a really good idea, which is learn to earn DeFi. Now, we're not the only ones doing learn to earn. You mostly see it on exchanges that have these, you get a little bit of crypto. If you go through a few videos and you have a multiple choice question, we think we can do it a lot better. And there's a lot of these learn to earn campaigns, and so there's definitely value there. And we would like to do it on chain on EOS, and because it's on chain, they can give us a transaction link, and we can verify whether they've done it. And because it's DeFi, and they could potentially get a reward for completing a DeFi task, and also referring someone to complete that DeFi task. And get that reward because it's on chain. It's direct economic value when someone completes that task. A very simple task in DeFi is inserting into a liquidity pool. So if the mission is to insert into a liquidity pool, you get rewarded, and you really understand the implications. A lot of bees are from countries that don't have financial services. If we can really get that downloaded into their mind, this is direct economic output. So we're super excited to get feedback on this. As always, we'll be doing swarms. We're in a great position to do it because you need EOS in the first place to maybe convert to USDT to put into a liquidity pool. So they get that in swarms. And so it's a great, in marketing, it's called a carrot. We may have the greatest carrot in digital marketing history. I know I'm biased, but yeah, it's time to start thinking about how to leverage that carrot tips and honey. So thank you everyone for allowing me to speak. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Jesse. I think I fixed my issues. All I needed was to grab my mother-in-law's phone because all of my devices were failing on me. But sounds like we're good now. All right. Thank you for the guys that have presented already. Anyone else want to come on stage, send a request, get up here, share your thoughts, share your grants, ask questions, all that good stuff. I see we've got Marco on stage. Did you want to go next, Marco?
Yeah, I'm happy to go real quick. I presented during the first rapid fire. I'll just go with, in a word, time. I'm from NYC Metro. Time and growth in a system, in a company, in an ecosystem becomes more valuable as more information comes in. We're seeing that with Binance. We're seeing that with B1 renewed interest. So not just speed and easy access to organized information, but information that is ready to take action and customizable stuff. That's what W3Briefs.com is about. You may have know my work with EOS Briefings and EOS Weekly. Or EOS Weekly. I'm sorry. I remember listening to. I learned a lot from the hot sauce guys and the co-founder of the ENF back in the day. And while EOS, I heard over and over again, I just read so much that I still spell it out. Maybe wrote too much about it. But anyway. Yeah, your funding goes a long ways. There's 3 years of info to coordinate in different ways, from quick hit timelines that you can overview a month in seconds or a couple of minutes, years in minutes, to project specific briefings from new projects, existing ones, organizations, foundations like the ENF, to influencer specific, and then to custom briefings. I am also looking to coordinate all active news feeds or help coordinate that and promote networking within the community. And any other questions, inputs, or anybody looking to network with that? I believe as we grow, we're going to grow faster than most blockchains, and access to accurate, actionable information is going to be paramount. Oh, also, welcome new projects into the ecosystem. Rather than having them go through a gauntlet, let their important notifications, announcements jump right to the front of the line when especially when things are uh, a little quiet or whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got for today. That was off the top of my head, guys, on the fly.
Off the top of the dome. Well done, Marco. Shout out to Marco for putting up that great timeline of events. I recently checked that out a few weeks ago on your website. We'll actually be using that for the end of the year review fireside on the 28th of December. So if you guys are tuning in to that fireside, we'll be highlighting a bunch of stuff that happened in the last year, and our basically source material for our research is going to be Marco's website there. So thank you, Marco, for that, and make sure everyone support Marco for the great work he's doing for the community.
Thanks for the opportunity, and yeah, it's great work you guys do. Happy to be a part.
Thank you, Marco. All right. I think all the speakers that are currently on stage have already spoken up. I see we've got a few new faces in the audience. We got Igor, Sergio. If you guys want to request a spot on stage, go ahead, do that. We'll get you up here. In the meantime, I guess I can pitch our grant that we have on Pomelo called The Hot Sauce. Marco mentioned it briefly there. Basically, The Hot Sauce is a weekly EOS news show, video format on YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, Bilibili, a bunch of places. We try to keep it short and fast and high energy, try to keep people engaged. And, we know everyone's very busy. We know there's a ton of EOS content these days being produced, which is great. But we felt like wasn't really like a 12-minute video recap show, for everything that's going on. There's the fireside, there's the EOS support show. Marco does some great stuff. There's some written articles, but there was no kind of 20-minute news show recap. So that's kind of the niche we're targeting. We've been doing the Hot Sauce for a long time. We've actually done 181 episodes so far. It started out as a written publication. It evolved into a pre-produced video, and now we're doing live videos. So we're always evolving, always kind of trying to, up our game, trying to see what works, what doesn't, what people like, etc. The format of the show as it is right now, I personally like it a lot. I'm the host. I'll be the host for the next, at least the funding for this season. And there's a lot of people involved in producing the Hot Sauce. So supporting, the Hot Sauce grant does support a lot of people on our team. So we got Dave that helps us out. He's producing the Spaces event today. He also helps out with producing the Hot Sauce. We got Sharmona in the crowd right now. She's the one doing these great thumbnails of my crazy faces out there. We got Yana as well. We got Martin that helps gather all the stories of the week, and also helps us, with the editorial and the overall vision for the Hot Sauce. Martin's the one that came up with the great branding. Used to be EOS Hot Sauce, but we felt that was kind of redundant at this point, so we just dropped the EOS. We're just Hot Sauce now. So far this Pomelo season, we've had a lot of support. I think we're almost at 90 individual donors so far, which is amazing. So it definitely feels good to see all that support. Feels good to see that the community appreciates what we do and that you guys want to fund us to keep going. So If you haven't donated yet, please donate to the Hot Sauce Grant. Just one EOS really goes a long way, especially since we've had a lot of supporters due to the quadratic nature of the funding. Small donations now for us, since we've had a lot of unique supporters, really, really does go a long way. So much appreciated. If you've already donated, donate again. Why not? It's fun. So I guess I'll just leave it there for now. If you guys have any questions or whatever, feel free to jump on stage, ask me questions now. If you guys have questions for the other guests as well, you can jump on. Let's see, do we have anyone else that wants to speak at this point? See a heart from Dan Singjoy. Thank you, Dan.
I'll just I got to know Tetrad, and it's a great group, a great team. They have a very interesting vision, and so I just want to give my endorsement to Tetrad. They're a bit newer to EOS, but they definitely deserve a shot, guys. Yeah, so I really like their team. Just want to say that.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah, it's been great to get to know Tetrad. I've heard them pitch a few times now. Very well spoken. Seems like, really strong team. So that's great to see that, Pomelo is attracting these types of people and these types of teams to the Antelope ecosystem, which is really one of the goals of Pomelo, right? We want to absolutely fund the teams that already exist in the ecosystem. A lot of great community members that have been in EOS from the very start. A lot of them have grants for various public goods that they want to build. Sometimes they're building it funding or not, but it's great that Pomelo is able to fund these people. But it's also great that Pomelo is attracting new teams from outside the ecosystem to join us on EOS and on the Antelope blockchains. So yeah, we've been really pleased with the turnout so far for season 4. We had, I think, 135 grants or 136 grants approved, which is great. We had actually more than that. We had like 170 last season. But, a lot of these grants, sometimes they're not necessarily super well thought out, well planned, projects or grants. Sometimes people just throw something up there to see if it connects or whatever. So I think we had a fair amount of those last season, and maybe some of those didn't get the support from the community they were hoping for. They didn't come back. But in order to get community support, Pomelo is a reputation engine, right? So you need to build your reputation in the EOS community. You need to build your reputation in Pomelo in order to get that community support and funding. And you do that by, like you guys are doing here, joining these pitch sessions, getting out there in the chats, getting out there on Twitter, talking about Pomelo, answering questions from other people that have questions about Pomelo, just building that reputation up. And there's a lot of ways to do that. And then you can come back to Pomelo season after season as your reputation builds up. And you should see, steady levels of support from the community. The Bees, EOS support, these are grants that have been very successful on Pomelo. I'm not surprised. Those are great projects led by great longtime EOS community members, and they've been able to deliver every season. And so, of course, the Pomelo community is willing to back them again in future seasons because they are delivering, and we see the great work that they do. So I can keep talking about Pomelo for another hour and a half if we want, but I would love to hear some more comments from the crowd. See, we got a few people in here. Morton, Igor, Elijah, get up here on stage, share some thoughts. If not, I'm gonna talk some more about collections and the trust bonus. But I'm just gonna give it a few moments here. If everyone else has some thoughts.
Yeah, I just want to say, Steph, thank you for the kind words. And Pomelo has allowed the bees to exist, frankly. And so we love Pomelo and the ENF for funding Pomelo, and it's allowed me to actually build something. And like this is kind of like my first project, and so it's been amazing. And so I'm super grateful for Pomelo. Thanks.
Hey, awesome. definitely surprised to hear you say this is your first project, because you've been doing a really good job leading the bees, innovating, being present in the community. You're joining these pitch sessions. You're always on the fireside as well, and you're always open to feedback, and you quickly integrate that feedback, into the app and stuff. For example, those comments, you guys worked on the comments recently. I know I shared some feedback at one point. I was like, these comments are kind of low effort, not necessarily spam, but low effort. And then you're like, yeah, we're working on something. And then boom, the next swarm that I did, we had just a bunch of really insightful, relevant comments, a variety of them. So yeah, you've been doing a great job. Can't wait to see it evolve over the course of the next few months and into Pomelo season 5 next year.
Thank you, Steph.
I'd also like to add on to that a bit too, with just a huge amount of appreciation for both the bees and Pomelo. It's awesome how big of a role Pomelo has played in supporting and enabling the bees, as well as many other great communities and organizations in EOS. And I had a new experience with the bees this week. I had done a few subsidized swarms over the past, couple months since they started doing subsidized swarms. I know that's changing now. But I purchased a full swarm for the first time when I released the Creator Talk podcast and also the Fractal Apple show on this Sunday. And so I will second what Stephane was saying. Like, the comments are, there's some that are like super, super insightful and super well written, and things that, like, some of the bees put it into better words than I could have thought of or I would have thought of. So I really appreciate that, and that helps both launch a new show or launch 2 new shows in this case, and also like it helps to know that people are watching and listening and enjoying it and getting value from it, and then that also helps I suppose provide some social proof too, because then other people who find the new show or new product or whatever that you're launching, then they can see what other people think about it as well. So it's a great mechanism. And also, Jesse, you're doing awesome things with Learn to Earn. I saw that thread. It looks really cool. So I encourage people to check that out. And once again, I also want to thank Stephane and Pomelo team for making this happen. And I think there's one other thing I was going to say, but I don't quite remember it. But thanks again. And I encourage everybody to check out the Fractal Apple too.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. All right.
I remember the one other thing I was going to say, actually. I was going to encourage Igor Berlenko to join if he's able to speak. I've been messaging with Igor a little bit, and he has a really cool project. It is a Pomelo grant called Galaxy, pomelo.io/grant/galaxy, if I'm not mistaken. And I was checking it out. It's a really cool knowledge management system that uses AI, and he's got it where like it can organize thoughts really quickly. So I'd love to hear from Igor if he's able to speak. But that was the other thing that I wanted to say.
Yeah, we're trying to get Igor on stage here. I think you're good to go, Igor.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hey, Igor. Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Pomelo
you.
session. We can hear
Thank
you.
you,
How are you doing? Now we can't hear you anymore. It seems like you're trying to talk.
Okay, I just have a delay when I talk. I use Twitter Space for first time.
Yeah, it's a bit clunky, the Twitter Spaces, but I think you're coming in clear now. So yeah, let's hear about your grant.
Yeah, I tried to use a separate device for microphone and speaker, but that's bad idea. So my project that I'm doing is a knowledge management system, which is actually similar to what is Marco doing in the way that you can organize summaries of meetings, but you can also use it for yourself. You can use it in Teams. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, but I'm taking it for 2 steps further. First, I introduced the concept of fractal mind maps. So imagine if you can, on your touch screen, zoom into any part of this mind map. And as you are zooming in, the level of detailization of area that you're stretching into is level of detailization is increased. So from the top view, you see the key topics, and when you try to go into it on the same page without switching to other pages, as usually in tools like Notion, on the same page, it shows you more details. Like if you zoom into some meeting, first you see the whole summary in one sentence, and as you increase, the AI expands it more to fit in your screen. Does it make sense? That's what I use actually for my knowledge when I'm coding or when read books. I zoom out and I can see my whole code base or the whole book all at once. And then when I can choose to zoom in into particular file or into chapter in book. If it, so the same, you can zoom in, zoom out, and see all the meetings, similar like in Marco. But then you can also zoom in into particular and see more details. Does it make sense? Right?
Yes, it makes sense. Sorry, I've lost my phone here, or my mother's in-law's phone. We're good.
Yes. And the second feature that I put into it is AI. So currently you can communicate with AI normally in chat, like in chat GPT. But here I expanded capabilities under this mind map. So I teach AI to operate on the canvas because mind maps and whiteboard is better way to share information and represent complex knowledge. So now with Galaxy, you will be able, like when we have meeting right now, we would be able to see whiteboard, and we could invite uh, what I call intelligence replica of any person to join us and draw with on the whiteboard together with us. So that could be any person based trained on his tweets and his knowledge. So he could uh, draw on the canvas during the meeting. If it makes sense.
It's starting to look good. I'm going to say it's important to build these tools now.
Right. Yes. When I built these two features for myself, it changed the way how I interact with the internet. It's make it much more efficient, and I'm looking to share it with others.
What is the name of your grant, Igor?
Galaxy. So
Galaxy helping DAOs to make better decisions. Just found it here.
right.
Pomelo, great.
So inspiration behind it is in concept of stretch text, which introduced by Ted Nelson. when he created internet, his original vision was that people would be able to stretch any kind of information and zoom into it and see all the information, all the completeness of knowledge. But what happened in the internet, that it get divided by pages, and people get in the misunderstandings because of not being able to see the whole completeness of knowledge regarding any topics. So I noticed in organizations as well, the reason behind conflicts that arise usually is a misunderstanding. And misunderstanding happens because of incompleteness of information in the perception of participants in the discussion. It's like, a story of an elephant that blind people trying to describe touching elephant from different sides. They give different descriptions of it, but they have incompleteness, and so they cannot describe or they cannot see what is elephant until they can zoom out. Like if they could create a small, if they could use 3D printer to make model of this elephant, and they could touch it from all the sides at once, then they could get perception of what the elephant is, and then they talk about the same thing. So that's importance to be able to change the level of utilization of information during discussions in groups to make right decision in organization.
Dan, did you want to say something? It looks like you've got your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Stephane, and thank you, Igor, for the explanation. I very much agree with what you're saying about how tools like this, a Galaxy, can help people communicate better. And all the things you're saying with the elephant, that's a great metaphor. So very well explained, and thank you so much for sharing it. I just learned about this project a few days ago, and I'm really excited to learn more. I don't know how much time we have, and I don't want to guide the direction too much or for too long, but a couple quick questions I have is, one, is this, are you building this from scratch? Or I know there's also several other tools that are sort of similar. Like I saw on your website, you mentioned Obsidian MD, and I know Patrick from Nova Crypto builds mind maps, and there's like Roam Research and lots of different tools. And then also, do you have an idea, like, is this going to be accessible for many people to use anytime in the near future, or is any kind of roadmap or timeline?
Yes, already I use myself, and so maybe next month, so we can start to use. I mean, yeah, maybe even in next 2 weeks, I will begin to share links where we can collaborate on this canvas. So I use for it open source things. One is Exaridraw, and second one is Chisel Strike. So it's easy. It was easy to build because I contributed to both of these open source projects. Obsidian uh, I used before I built this thing. Before I was using Obsidian, and it was also inspiration behind it. So Obsidian takes at least one step further from just nodes which are totally separated, usually separate pages, separate files. Obsidian begins to make a graph of all your nodes. It gives a graph of all your dots, and which are interlinked through outgoing references. And I thought, what if when I see this graph, I could actually zoom into any of nodes in this graph and see the content which is being revealed as I zoom into it. So that was inspiration behind the concept of fractal maps, that you can zoom into any node until you understand the topic. You just increase the level of detailization of it until you come to consensus in group. You just getting to understand each other opinion better until you come to agreement.
Super cool. Thank you for the explanation. I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about this in the future. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Igor, for joining us and sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the crowd or our current speakers want to share something? Oh, we've got Pat Novajoy joining us on the Pomelo pitch session. Pat Novajoy, are you going to talk to us? I've just sent you an invite in case you want to get on stage, talk about your grant, or sing a song, or whatever it is you do on these EOS events. Oh, Elijah wants to come up here. Of course, let's allow him. I'm going to remove Tetrad as a speaker for now, just because we're going to need a bit of room for new speakers.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm the
Hey, Elijah.
I'm the founder of the Real Node LA. The it's a metaverse community on Web3, built off of the EOS blockchain. The assets are extracted from the Upland metaverse. If you ever heard of Upland, Upland is on the EOS blockchain. It's a metaverse that's based on the real world. So there's communities that form within that metaverse. And I founded a community called the Real Node LA. And the gallery's launching actually in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna have to jet out. But we're having a NFT giveaway over there. The website is therealnode.com, like in the blockchain terminology, node. So it's therealnode.com. And it's a YouTubers community. We try to stick together and help each other out, build, and things like that.
Great. What's the name of your grant?
Well, we aren't. You mean a public grant that we received? We haven't received any grants. It's a project that's just been developing. It has the community has about 300 people and 300 members in the actual. When I say community members, I mean property owners of this particular community. Upland is one of the largest metaverses on that radar. So they have hundreds of thousands of users. But just in this particular community alone, the Real Node, there's about 300 or so members that actually own property that is located in this area that are participants. So it's pretty cool.
That is very cool, for sure. No, I was wondering if you had a grant up for a public good on Pomelo, which is kind of the theme of the show today.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. That's why I'm listening in, and if maybe I would consider that contacting Pomelo for that.
Yeah, for sure. So these Pomelo seasons, grant applications for season 4 is currently closed. That closed a few weeks ago. Donations is almost over as well. That's closing tomorrow. But there's going to be a season 5 of Pomelo grants, right, with another matching pool amount of donations. So if you've got a public good, if part of what you're doing with your community can be considered a public good of some sort, and there's a lot of ways where for-profit projects may be building some part of their project as open source or as a public good, and then what you do is you come on Pomelo, you focus your grant on that public good piece of the project, and then you can earn some additional funding. So definitely start thinking about that stuff. Join us on the Pomelo Telegram group. It's on Telegram, it's /Pomelo_IO. Join us in there, share about what your project is doing, share about ideas of how you could pitch on Pomelo. And, the community is very helpful. We'll give you some feedback, give you some ideas, and hopefully you can get in there for season 5, which is going to be sometime in Q1 of 2023.
And just a quick donations close Thursday at 12 UTC. December 15th, Thursday, December 15th at 12 UTC.
No. Well, yes. You're technically correct, but it's basically the last minute of the last time zone of Wednesday, 14th of December.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
So what we say is, last day for donations is Wednesday the 14th. So regardless of where you are in the world, if it's still Wednesday, you should be able to donate. But technically, yes, you're right. Depending on what time zone you're in, it may be in the early mornings of Thursday morning. But for messaging purposes, we just say, end of the day, Wednesday. So still got about 48 hours or maybe a bit less than that. 30. Anyways, you got today, you got tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be talking a bit about Pomelo on the fireside chat tomorrow. Myself, I'm about to go on a donation spree this afternoon in Pomelo. I was waiting for all these pitch sessions to be over. What I'm doing is I've created a collection on Pomelo, including all of the grants that have shown up for these pitch sessions. So either in English, in Chinese, in Korean. We even had some guys from EOS Rio host a pitch session the other day. Those are going to be included in there as well. I'm up to 30 grants in my collection. So I'm going to be donating to all of those grants. And I'm also going to be donating to a lot of other collections from community members that I trust and that have been here for a long time. And so, so if you want to create a collection, send me the link. I'll likely donate to all of the grants. So what you can do on the Pomelo website, you go to the collection section, and then you'll see all sorts of collections. For example, here, they're in random order, but the first one that came up is The Languages of EOS by Jaffe. So Jesse here from the Bees that's with us right now, looks like there's 13 grants in that collection. So you can go in, click the details of the collection, and then you can see all of the grants included. So in this one, we've got Korea EOS Insights and News, Chinese translations of More Equal Animals, bringing 1K users via fractal democracy, EOS China EOS information, Eden content published in Korean, German audiobook, EOS promotion on Douyin, like Chinese TikTok, EOS Turkey YouTube channel, EOS Vietnam News, EOS Espanol, EOS Nigeria, like EOS Russian, and Indian Korea New Frontier. So this is great. So this is a collection of grants that are looking to promote EOS in a variety of languages. I imagine Jesse looked into these grants a bit. He was willing to add them to his collection. So what I'm going to be doing this afternoon is when you're browsing these collections in the top right corner, you can see a green button that says add all grants to cart. So I'm going to be clicking that button. All of these grants are going to be in my cart, and I'm going to check out. I'm going to donate 1 EOS to all of these grants. So I'm going to be going through all of the collections this afternoon, adding a bunch to my list and donating to the projects contained within them.
Thank you, Steph, for highlighting my collection. And I just want to say that the first iteration of EOS Bees was about the languages. So not only did I just look into these projects, I actually know the vast majority of them very well, and I used to work with them. And so, and I just want to highlight maybe one other point that I said in my Pomelo testimonial is when we had to pivot. So obviously we've pivoted to swarms, and they're in English, and it was definitely bittersweet because the swarms are valuable, but we had to let go of the languages, and I had Pomelo to tell them, like, go on Pomelo, and you could still do like what you do. And so, I'm very passionate about multiple languages in like a blockchain decentralized community. We should have more languages. They should be funded. and Pomelo allows us to do that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, glad to know that you actually work with a lot of these people. Maybe I'll throw 2 EOS each at these grants in this collection in that case. Hey, we've got a dog high on glue joining us in the audience. Get up on here on stage and pitch your grant, Glue Dog. No, he left. Shy dog. Yeah, so collections, super cool feature. In my opinion, it really allows us to leverage the wisdom of the crowd. So, the wisdom of all our EOS community members that have taken the time to look into the grants, create a collection. We get to leverage that wisdom with these collections and donating to them. So I'm going to be compiling a list of all collections that I'm donating to. I'm going to be tweeting about it and sharing the links to these collections. So if other people want to take advantage of my wisdom, and then they can kind of follow who I'm donating to, and hopefully through all of these donations to projects that are well supported and represented by trusted members in the community, we'll be able to make sure that the vast majority of the matching pool allocation goes to legit open source, public good projects, made by trusted members in the community. So that's great. Another little tidbit about collections, while we're not displaying that information just yet on the website, we are tracking how many donations come through each collection. So that's a little something that we'll be looking to promote more in the future. Right now, we're not really ready to display that information in a way that makes sense, but we are tracking it. And of course, every season we do our Pomelo badges. So if you're a top 100 donor, you get a badge. If you're a top 50 grant creator, you get a badge. And maybe we'll be giving out badges to people who create collections. Who knows? You never know. So yeah, if you haven't done a collection yet, there's still a bit of time to do that this season. And of course, these collections will be available. This feature will be available in future seasons as well. So if you haven't had time just yet to get in deep on that, then you'll have time to do that next season. The other thing I want to say here before we wrap it up, unless there's other people that want to join on stage but the other thing I want to say is just talk a bit about the trust bonus. That's another great way to defend against cyber attacks. Make sure that you add in your Pomelo account, you go to profile, there's going to be a trust bonus tab, get in there, confirm your social accounts, confirm by text. You can even confirm that you have a unique passport without actually sharing any of the information of the passport. And these are ways that you can upgrade your trust bonus, and then you can get up to 60% bonus. So, a donation, a 1 EOS donation with someone that has a 60% trust bonus, well, it actually is a 1.6 EOS donation in terms of counting for the quadratic funding formula for distribution. So that's super important. So those are the 2 things I think at this point that are important for the community. Donations close soon. Browse those collections, donate to collections you trust, and then over the holidays, up until when the cyber analysis is conducted and everything's final sometime in January, up until that point, you can increase your trust bonus, and donations that you made this season will be impacted by that new trust bonus. So if you already made donations, it's still a good idea to get out there, increase that trust bonus, because it will amplify the effect of those donations. All right. I think that's it for me. Looks like everyone in here has had a chance to talk. I see the Glue Dog is back. Did you want to come on stage, share your grant, Glue Dog? Or if not, I think we're going to wrap it up. Here, let's send an invite to the dog. The dog has been invited. So we're going to give it maybe 20 seconds. See what's up, and then we're going to wrap it up. Doesn't look like anything's going on. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Last minute kind of session, but it was great to hear from you guys. And good luck with your grants. And remember, there's always adjustments at the end of the season for Cybele attacks. So it's likely that that the matching number you see here at the end of the donation period, if you aren't Cybele attacking, your grants and your Pomelo, then it's likely that when we remove these Cybele attacks, that donation amount is going to go up slightly. So that's something to consider. The estimates are not final by any way. They are impacted by the Cybele defense analysis that we do at the end of each season. All right, so that's going to be it for today. That's going to be it